But before I begin, I do want to discuss our government's actions to resolve the rail dispute. Our government fundamentally believes, and you all know this, that the best deals are always found at the table. That's why former Minister Seamus O'Regan and Minister Steve McKinnon pushed all the parties for months to negotiate, to reach a deal that keeps goods moving on our rails and addresses the serious safety concerns raised by Teamsters Canada. Unfortunately, CN and CPKC took the deeply unhelpful decision last Thursday to lock out employees after talks reached an impasse. That came with a cost of over $1 billion of shipments per day, while, as you all know, putting at risk thousands of jobs across the country, including union jobs. And it raised serious public safety concerns, with everything from propane for remote hospitals to chlorine for safe drinking water being transported on our rails. As a result, we reluctantly took the decision to request binding arbitration to resolve this dispute. To be clear, this is not the outcome we wanted to see. If it wasn't obvious to every Canadian already, Canadian rail workers do a vital job, and they deserve to work in safety and in dignity.
It's the same thing you did to the truckers.
And as Steve just said, we will be looking at every possible immediate and long-term solution to address the worker safety issues raised by the Teamsters Union and ultimately to make our rail system work better. And during our Q&A after, I'll be happy to discuss this and take any of your questions to address further questions you may have, because it's a big thing, an important thing, and you know, for all the years we've worked together, that having a strong, open relationship that engages, frankly, with unions is core to this government's success and to Canada's success. See, since we first formed a Liberal government back in 2015, we've always made one thing clear. Strengthening the middle class would always be our guiding principle, our North Star, the central objective to everything we would do. So we responded. In fact, 9 years ago yesterday, during the 2015 campaign at your local 793 in Oakville, actually, Mike Gallagher, you here? There you are. You remember that day, Mike? It was the end of August, 2015 campaign. I'd like you to not remember how I got that crane swinging like nobody's business. But we made an announcement. We made a promise of a historic doubling of federal infrastructure spending to build this country. That was the commitment we made to you and to Canadians, that we were going to get building again. After years of Harper underinvestment, years of Harper cuts and austerity.
You're still blaming
Harper. You know better than most.
He's still blaming Harper.
We've delivered on that promise and a whole lot more. We're pushing ahead on national pharmacare, making insulin free for every Canadian who needs it, and providing free prescription contraceptives, because we not only believe in a woman's right to choose, we act on it. As of last week, our Canadian dental care plan has already helped over 500,000 previously uninsured Canadians get the dental services and dental care they deserve. And we've been able to do all this because we've been responsible with taxpayer dollars, delivering the lowest deficit amongst advanced industrialized nations and the lowest net government debt in the G7. These are important victories for Canadians, for the middle class, for working people. And they were made possible by all of you. But union leaders, like all of you here today, also know that these programs can be cut, protections unraveled, and progress undone.
Oh, he's going to blame Pierre now.
I don't need to remind you of the Harper years. You know that those were dark days, and you know that we can't afford to go back. Unfortunately, that's what Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives are proposing.
Oh, my goodness.
And Mr. Poilievre likes to pretend he has the backs of workers, but I know you're not buying it. You know his record, and you know what he stands for, and more precisely, what he has stood for and stood against in all his 20 years as an MP. Poilievre and his colleagues passed Bill 377, a law that piled on the red tape to stifle unions and bury them in bureaucracy. Pierre Poilievre a voté pour 525, une loi qui a truqué le jeu à l'avantage des entreprises en obligeant les syndicats à divulguer leurs finances privées. And, taking a page from the American far-right playbook, he's called for right-to-work laws. Laws which may have a nice-sounding name, but you know what they actually do. Starve unions of the resources you need to deliver higher wages and better protections in the workplace.
This guy's smoking something today.
That's what Poilievre thinks of unions. That's what he thinks of you. Pierre Poilievre used you for photo ops to pretend he's a friend to working people. But the truth is, he's a phony. He thinks you're all suckers. But above all, he's scared of you. Like every Conservative before him, he's scared of what workers can accomplish when they organize. He's scared because when workers organize, they demand better. They push to make government work for working people.
You're the one who froze bank
But
accounts
most
to truckers.
importantly, he's scared of you because he thrives on chaos.
You are
on
scared of
despair,
truckers.
on division. And unions represent the opposite of that. You're organized, you're hopeful, and you're united in pursuit of one goal: to deliver real progress.
Dude, button up your shirt.
Well, I'll tell you what. Our Liberal government is not afraid of empowering workers. We're not scared by unions. As soon as we took office, we repealed the Conservative Bills 377 and 525. We passed the Sustainable Jobs Act so that workers can have a seat at the table as we build a strong green economy right here in Canada, a law that Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives obstructed for months. And we passed historic anti-scab legislation which banned replacement workers because they tilt the playing field and they enable employers to walk away from the bargaining table where the best deals are made.
Please don't clap for him. Stop clapping. Stop clapping. No, that's not something we clap for, please.
See, this is what being pro-worker actually looks like. This is what it means to have unions' backs. Before I wrap up,
Oh, please do.
I want to zoom out for a second and recognize that we are at a global inflection point, a moment of deep consequence. The world is changing rapidly.
This sounds like
It's
the
an
West.
increasingly challenging and uncertain place.
This is literally a page
And
out
the
of the
global
West.
economy is undergoing the largest transformation since the Industrial
The
Revolution.
reset.
But because we believe that confident countries should invest in their workers, their communities, their future, because we're focused on skating where the puck is going,
But you can't even skate.
because we're implementing the most ambitious growth and industrial strategy in Canadian history, and most importantly, because we have the best workers in the world, we are poised to be a global economic powerhouse for decades to come. And guess what? That success will be union-made.
Stop clapping for him. Stop clapping.
Now, my friends, if we're being honest, I know you won't always agree with every decision our government makes. But I want to be clear. When we misstep, we'll listen. We want to learn. And we want to always do better. Because we have your backs. We believe you are essential to Canada's present and future.
Tell that to the truckers.
As I said at the beginning, strengthening the middle class is at the center of everything we do. And that's precisely why I wanted to be here today. Because when unions succeed, the middle class succeeds, and of course, all of Canada succeeds. So thank you, my friends, for everything you do. Thank you for everything you're going to keep doing as we build a better future for everyone.
Oh, thank
together.
God you're done.
Merci.